Advocacy Project for OTA 100. First question, why is occupational therapy important patient care service? Occupational therapy is important because OT help patients get back to engaging in everyday activity that is necessary and meaningful to them. And OT also help them return home and be able to live their life safely and independently. For one of the legislative issues that affects the practice of occupational therapy, I picked the Medicare cap policy. The Medicare cap policy pretty much put a dollar limit every year that a patient have to spend on rehab. For this year, they have 1960 for their first cap on occupational therapy, and their second cap also 1960 shared with speech, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. So this really puts a limit on um, how long the OT session can be for the patient, and this really puts the government and their insurance policy be the deciding factor on when the patient gets discharged from occupational therapy service and could delay their OT service just because they ran out of Medicare dollar, regardless of their medical needs. For example, if a patient had OT service earlier in the year and they used up all the Medicare cap for to treat that issue, and then later on in the year they gets injury or gets illness and they need OT again. Well, they already used up all the Medicare cap. Now they have to wait until the next year until the Medicare cap gets renewed before they can even start occupational therapy service. And I think this really affects the practice of OT because it really limit what the OT can say on the patient's medical necessity, really puts all the deciding factor on the insurance. As for what I have learned so far this semester that is surprising about OT, I was really surprised by just how much OT goes into breaking down why a client is limited on their occupational performance. They break down the performance based on client factor like their value, belief, spirituality, or body function, body structure. They also break down based on their performance skill, like their motor skill, their processing skills, social interaction skill, also their performance pattern, like habits, routines, rituals, and roles. And also the OT look at different things that can influence their occupational performance, such as context and the environment. I was really surprised by just how details and how much things you have to look into to evaluate a limitation on an occupational performance.